So that is the topic of our today's discussion, cross-cultural communication. Cross-cultural communication. Cross-cultural communication. Cross-cultural communication. And we write that this is communication. This is communication between people. This is communication between people. Between people who have different cultural backgrounds. Between people who have different cultural backgrounds. The differences are in terms of styles, in terms of working, age, nationality, ethnicity, gender, etc. Gender, etc. So that is what we call intercultural or cross-cultural communication. It is a communication that is involving persons who are different in terms of culture. When we talk about culture, we are talking about the way of life. We are talking about the values. We are talking about the convictions. We are talking about the practices, the beliefs that people have. And you know that in this country and in any other place that you go to, we have different cultural backgrounds. Here in Kenya, I think right now we are around 43. Is it 43 or 44 tribes? How many are we? Yeah, we have always been 42, but I think we have had 2 or more who have been recognized. Yeah, at least I know 1 more. So we are around 43 or 44. So that tells us we have a different background, but we all meet. Like in this class, me, I come from Muranga. Where do you come from? Tana River. Homa Bay. I was in Homa Bay over December to preach in Homa Bay town for 8 days. Good. Now, you see now, I come from Muranga. You come from Tana River. He comes from Homa Bay. Those are different cultural backgrounds. But here we are together in the same class. Where you work or where you'll be working, you meet people from different places, and you must communicate. So we need to check how is it going to be done. Now, from there, let's now look at factors that affect cross-cultural communication. Factors that affect cross-cultural communication. Factors that affect cross-cultural communication. One, interpretation of time. Interpretation of time. That is punctuality. Punctuality. Interpretation of time. That is punctuality. Number 2, interpretation of space in regard to greetings. In regard to greetings. in regard to greetings. Another one is nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication. Number 4 is cultural identity. Cultural identity. Number 5 is racial identity. Racial identity. Number 6, we have what we call ethnic identity. Number 7 is gender roles. Gender roles. Number 8 is age. Number 9 is social class. Social class. So these are some of the factors that will come into play and will affect what we are calling cross-cultural communication. Just a minute. So we are saying that when you look at this issue of cross-cultural, we have the interpretation of time. When we are talking of interpretation of time, we are looking at how do people recognize time? What level of meaning do people attach to time? And you realize that there are people, especially here in Africa, we are told that we do not respect time. You tell an African, let's meet at 5, and that African is coming at 7, and he thinks he's not late. But you tell a European, let's meet at 5, the guy is there at 5. So different cultures, they recognize time differently. The other one is the interpretation of space when it comes to interactions, and more so in regard to greetings. There are some cultures which embrace hugging, like here in Nairobi, hugging is acceptable between men and women. But I remember back then in the village, when you would see a man hug a lady, hiyo inaleta maneno sana. Kwanza kama si bibi yake, inaleta maneno sana. But here in towns, people hug frequently, casually. It's not a big deal. In the European countries, they do so. So you need to recognize that. There are some cultures when people are greeting each other, especially ladies greeting men, they do like this. Some other cultures, they don't shake hands. Wewe nimekufanyia hivyo tosheka na hiyo. Some others, when they are talking, they have to kneel down. Same cultures where women are made to or kneel down when they are talking to men. Those are things that you need to appreciate. The other thing is nonverbal communication. You need to know when someone gives a body gesture, when someone does something that is not a word of mouth, how do you interpret? What does it mean to them? The other thing is cultural identity. How do people identify with their culture? How strong are they when it comes to that culture? The other thing is racial identity. There are people who want to identify with their race. When it comes to ethnicity, we want to identify with our tribe. And this is something that is very, very common here in Kenya. When you hear so-and-so is from your tribe, then you know you are safe. But when you hear so-and-so is not from your tribe, then you become more sensitive or more alert. The other issue is gender roles. You realize that different cultures different genders have different roles. There are places where men cook. They go to the kitchen and it's not a big issue. There are places where, like where I come from, men do not go to the kitchen. When you find a man in the kitchen, something is very, very wrong. Either the mother of the house is seriously sick and there is no one else who can go to the kitchen. But there are men who comfortably go to the kitchen. They don't mind. In some cultures, you find it is women to wash clothes. Men do not touch what? Clothes. Yeah. In some cultures, it is men to go look for food, to go look for money. Women do not work. Kazi ya mama ni kukaa nyumbani and to take care of the house. Yeah. But some other cultures, you find women, even men, they are all going to work, all those kind of things. Issues to do with age. Again, it comes into play when it comes to culture and also issues to do with social class. We know that we belong to different classes of in society, and they influence how we do what we do. Okay, the next thing that we need to look at is called limitations or barriers in cross-cultural communication. Limitations or barriers in cross-cultural communication. Limitations or barriers in cross-cultural communication. One is language differences. Language differences. Number two, nonverbal misinterpretations. Misinterpretations. Number three, perceptions and stereotypes. Perceptions and stereotypes. Number four, high levels of anxiety. High levels of anxiety. Another one is ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism. Another one is conflicting values. Conflicting values. Another one is geographical distance. Geographical distance. Geographical distance. Geographical distance. So here we are looking at what would be some of the barriers when people from different cultures are in the same place and they want to talk. One is language difference. Like when I have said I was in Homa Bay, I would be in a meeting and guys are now talking the Luo language. And they're enjoying, they are talking, mimi ko hapa natamani kujua what they are saying. But now I am not able to understand. Maybe some of them even do not know that I don't understand their language. So the issue of language difference, it is a major barrier. And this language difference, at times it can even cause strife, or it can make some people to think that they are not welcome in that circle. I don't know whether umewahi jipata mahali where everyone else belongs to that other tribe. You are the only one who is a stranger. And in sociology, they tell us when you are using your mother tongue, you feel more secure. That's why when you are talking to a person from your tribe, and both of you are very fluent in Kiswahili or English, assuming those are not your mother languages. In a while, you find that you are inserting some words from your village. It is because it feels natural and you feel safe when you are communicating in your mother tongue. Now, these guys are there, they have switched to the mother tongue. Wanaongea, wanacheka. Wanaongea, wanacheka. But you are getting nothing. At times, sasa unaanza kujiuliza, because when they are laughing, they are also looking at you. Unaanza kushuku, are they discussing me? Ni mimi wanachekelea ama ni mimi? Hapo wanacheka, wakimalizia wanakuuliza ama ni aje? And you have no idea what they are saying. You may feel that you are not in that office. You may feel that you are not comfortable in that group. And you will now start making yourself busy to avoid being there. I once worked in a place where we were very few of the other tribe. So when the main tribe guys would come, they would switch mother tongue. So what we used to do, wewe unaweka chai yako, unajipea shughuli, unachukua gazeti, unaanza kusoma ama unatembea hapo nje during break time. Because ile duka iko hapo, wewe uelewi. Yeah. Wengine wanakuengage kidogo, then you find they are switching there. The other thing is non-verbal misinterpretations. There are some signs, some symbols, some body languages in some cultures which are used to communicate a specific message. Now, if you do not come to that, or rather you do not come from that background, you will not understand what they are saying. So that becomes a problem. The other one is perception and stereotypes. Perception is the way you see people. Stereotypes are the myths, the stories you used to hear of these other tribes. And they are not true, but somehow they influence us. For example, in this country, it is said that Kikuyus are what? Sio hiyo positive ati wana biashara, mna stereotype tunataka ile negative. Ni wezi. Sikia that statement. Wakikuyu ni wezi. So if that is the story ulikuwa unasikia ukiwa huko Homa, ukiwa huko Tana River, na umekuja hapa Nairobi unasikia jamaa anaitwa Kimani. Si unakuwa ganga na angalia huyu sasa I'm dealing with that. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Just a minute. Yeah. So I was saying They say that Kikuyus are thieves. But now that you have been in Nairobi for a while, you have interacted with Kikuyus. Sindio? Wamekuibia. Yes. So now you come to confirm that Ture to story ulisikia, it is not true. We also hear of stories like people from Kisira, they are night runners. Worked with many Kisis and have not gathered any evidence that they do night running. Even Omabi has a history of that, or has a story of night running. I was there the whole week, 8 days. I never saw guys running. Yeah. We have cases of Ukambani. You hear that what Ukambani, they carry Kamute. Kamute ni dawa, maya kuroga. But I've also been with so many campers. Any one of them carrying what? Okay. So these stereotypes, they affect how we communicate. Actually, some people go to an extent of expressing it. Wewe mimi sitaki mambo yako, wewe si Mkikuyu. Wewe your name betrays you, wewe ni mwizi. Wewe ni Mkamba, unaweza kuwa. Now those things are bad, but they affect our communication. Issues to do with high levels of anxiety. Again, hiyo hajakuwa na uoga. You are feeling that you're not settled. You are feeling you're not very sure of who you are talking to. Ethnocentrism. Now, this one is a situation where you think that your tribe is the best. It is super. Any other tribe, any other language, it is just nothing. If you are not speaking my language, then what you are speaking is useless. It is bad. It is that aspect of kujipenda, thinking that your language is the best. That is very, very wrong. Conflicting values. Conflicting values, they have to do with the convictions. You see, like what I have said earlier on, in some cultures, especially here in Nairobi, they believe that hugging between men and women is okay. And you find a person coming and greeting you and hugging you. But some of us who come from the village or wherever we come from, we are not comfortable with it. Lady coming and hugging you, or a gentleman coming and hugging you. So you find it brings conflicting, it brings conflicts. I remember the other day I was in a place and a lady came hugging men. And I was the next. I told her, I just extended my hand. That lady became so offended. And there was tension. Why are you pretending to be different? Kwani unafikiria ni nini na kufanyia? Si hao wengine wote nimewahag. Wewe ni mshamba ina gani? You see, for me, that is not how I am. That's not the value I believe in. Lakini yeye na wale wengine, they are comfortable. So you find you have to accommodate all this. Geographical distance, again, if you are doing this cross-cultural communication, there will be an aspect of geographical distance. Okay, how to improve cross-cultural communication? How to improve cross-cultural communication? How to improve intercultural communication. Number one, have cross-cultural programs. Have cultural programs that can lead to a common purpose, and understanding. Number two, teach different languages to individuals. Teach different languages to individuals. Different languages to individuals. Number three, employ people from different cultural backgrounds. Employ people from different cultural backgrounds. From different cultural backgrounds. Number four, train people on tolerance. Train people on tolerance. Tolerance. Another one is encourage people to make efforts. Encourage people to make efforts to understand other cultures. Make effort to understand other cultures. Another one is encourage people to develop ability. Encourage people to develop ability to adapt to change. To adapt to change. To adapt to change. Another one is facilitate meaningful conversations. Facilitate meaningful conversations. Meaningful conversations. Another one is promote a culture of being respectful. Promote a culture of being respectful to everyone. Of being respectful to everyone. Being respectful to everyone. Another one is encourage follow-up in writing. Encourage follow-up in writing. Encourage follow-up in writing. So those are some of the measures that we can take at the workplace to ensure that we are overcoming the barriers that we have noted and to ensure that we are improving our communication across culture. Number one, tumesema you should start having programs that are cross-cultural. Like I see in this country, they have started having some cultural programs. Unasikia, there is a Kikuyu night, there is a Luo night, there is a Kaba night, there is the Coast night. And these events, the invitations are given to various persons. So when you come to the Kikuyu night, you go to the Kaba night, you are able to see all what they are doing, and you are in a position to understand them. So this brings us to a common purpose, to a common understanding. The other thing that we have said is, if possible, you should make an effort to teach people different languages. So you ensure that people get to know Kamba language, get to know Mijikenda language, get to know Kamba, Kikuyu language, and so on as much as possible. Like when I was in Homa Bay, I was told about dog. It's a new word. I was also taught about Zetapokies. Yes, yeah. I was taught a few words here and there. So when now you encourage people to learn the other language, they also, you see now, if I stayed on there for a few days and I got a few words, if I stayed there for like 5 months, I would have gotten several words, the main words. And when I am in the group, I will not be feeling that I'm left out. So people should be encouraged and should be taught the language. The other thing is, you should adopt a culture where you employ people from different backgrounds. And this is one of the things that even the government of Kenya has made effort to ensure that parastatals are not employing people from one tribe. Previously, you would go to a parastatal, are these people from the same village? You go to a parastatal, let me not name names, but previously, you could go to a place, like there is a parastatal I know, I used to work for them. I would go and I wonder, there are no other Kenyans. It is people from my place. Yeah. Actually, you can even use mother tongue. There is also another one I know. It is people from a particular place. There is also another one I know, people from a particular place. As in regarding who is the boss. If the boss is Mkabani, utapata Akaba amejaa. If the boss is from Murang'a, watu wa Murang'a. If the boss is from Homa Bay, watu wa Homa Bay. If the boss is from Kisii, now that is wrong. We should encourage people to employ from different, actually even with the county governments, they are supposed to employ 30% of non-county members. So kama county yetu ya Murang'a, 70% should be Murang'a people. 30% waajiri watu wa outside, yeah, which is very good. The other thing is we should teach people to be tolerant. When you find me doing something and you find it irritating, don't be quick to condemn me. Like maybe how people greet each other. Kama si nimekuambia mimi usinihang, don't be quick to blame me. When I have said don't shake my hand, don't be offended. There are some people have met, you try to extend your hand, hivyo nakwambia hapana, tosheka hivyo. Watu wengine wanaudhika sana na wanaanza matusi. It is wrong. Be tolerant. Be tolerant with how people do their things. The other thing is people should be encouraged to make effort to understand. Why is this lady shaking the hand like this? Why is this gentleman refusing to be heard? Why is this person arguing this way? Why are they eating like this? Why are they dancing like this? Take time and try to understand. Don't be quick to condemn. The other thing is we encourage people to have the ability to adapt change. When new things have come your way, new language, new ways of doing things, be able to accept them. Be able to accept them. Don't just hold on with ile ulijua kwenu ushago. Ati mimi niliambiwa things must be done like this. No. Come and embrace what? Change. Like when we were in the village, we used to be told ladies should not wear trousers. Actually, because my wife is also from Muranga, she finds it very difficult when we are going to Muranga being in trousers. But when we came to Nairobi, that is the order of the day. Our girls, they know how to do that. That's not a big issue. So there is that change. I'm not in any way saying that then we embrace every culture that comes our way. No. But what I'm saying is, look at the new things that have come your way, judge whether they are right or they are. Then if you think they are right, then you embrace. Don't just remain with what you got. You need to get new ideas. The other thing is you should facilitate meaningful conversations. So that means don't allow people to be engaging in silly conversations, for lack of better words. People are talking things that do not make sense. Encourage people to discuss serious issues, to discuss political issues, national issues, economic issues, and that will go a long way. The other thing is ensure that there is a culture of people being respectful. Respect people, irrespective of what they are doing or not doing. The other thing is that you should encourage a follow-up in writing. So when you have talked to people and you think it's like, do a follow-up in writing. Now, in your past papers, look at December 2022, question 5C. December 2022, question 5C. Nasema nini? Nisome, I don't have that. December 2022, don't have it. Yeah. Hata hapo haina? Yes. They should give you maybe they have not updated. I'll tell them to update. What about this one? Of November 2017, question 7C. November 2017, question 7C.
Several missions that might be instituted in an organization in order to achieve effective multicultural communication.
Yeah, so are you able to answer that question? Nasema question 7C, eh? Examine 7 measures that might be instituted in an organization in order to achieve effective intercultural communication. So I've given you, are they 9? Yeah, I've given you 9 points. So those are the ones that you're supposed to respond to. Fatuma, is it time for prayers?
Yes.
Okay, so I can give you 10 minutes. Oh, I mean, point here. Okay. So we can continue. Let us now look at emails. Emails. Yeah. You are good, eh? Aye. Let's look at emails. What is the Kiswahili word for emails? Barua pepe. Barua pepe. So we can write this. An email is a form of communication. An email is a form of communication. It's a form of communication that involves, it's a form of communication that involves exchange of information exchange of information between people through computers and other electronic devices such as smartphones, tablets, etc. So that is what we call email. It is just a communication. It is the exchange of information between persons that uses computers and other electronic devices. It's very simple. I know we know emails. We use them. Maybe even today you have used emails. And so let's look at importances of emails. Importances of emails. Importances of emails. Number one, it is easy to use. It is easy to use since it has limited security issues. It's easy to use since it has limited security issues. It has limited security issues. Number two, it is easy to identify. It is easy to identify source even before opening. It is easy to identify source even before opening because they have subject line. Because they have subject line. Subject line. Number three, they do not require strict official language. They do not require strict official language. Do not require strict official language. Number four, they are very fast. They are very fast. Number five, they enable accurate record keeping. They enable accurate record keeping. Another one is they can send photos. They can send photos and scanned documents. They can send photos and scanned documents. So those are some of the advantages that will accrue to an organization that is using emails as a form of communication, or persons who are using emails as a medium of communication. So we are saying, number one, to use emails is very easy because we don't have a lot of security details. We don't have a lot of security issues. We don't have a lot of formalities. As long as you know how to type and you have the access to the gadget, you have the access to the internet, you type and the message is sent. The other thing is that it is able to help you identify the source. Even before you open, you can see this is from so and so, this is from so and so. And that gives you the freedom to choose which emails to open and which ones not to open. Because when you see this one is from so and so, you know this must be a serious message. So you quickly go to open. But you see another one, unajua this Jan's a joker, or this one I don't want to engage them, or this one can wait. So that is a major advantage, especially to persons who are very busy. You don't have time to look at every communication that comes your way. The other thing is it does not require very strict official language, very strict official format. Later on, we'll be looking at official formats and languages when it comes to documents, but when it comes to emails, that is not very strict. The other thing is that emails are very fast. As soon as you hit the button, the message is relayed to the other side. And assuming that the receiver is already on the internet and has a notification, they will be notified that the email has come very fast. And it also goes the wrong way in helping us to keep records. Any email that has been sent, not unless your inbox imejaa, and after ikijaa, if the storage has an issue, we can always boost by use of a memory card. So all the information you have been sent for a long time, you keep it there. It does not expire. And it does not bother you so much. It's not like the written documents that when you file office in a jar. And next time you are looking for it, it becomes difficult. But an email, if you, as long as you know it is there, you just type a few words and it comes up. Yeah. The other thing is that it can send photos and scanned documents, which also becomes very important because a photo carries 1,000 words. So badala ya maneno mingi, you just take a photo and you send. You just scan a document and you send. That becomes, especially, I normally see it even here at our place when we are dealing with an official document. Maybe you are far away and you require an official document from us. So what we do, the document is prepared in our letterhead, it is stamped, it is signed. Then we scan it and then it is sent to you. You print from the other side. And when you print using color, it comes out like original. And now you can present it to whoever requires the document. Now let's look at disadvantages of emails. Disadvantages of emails. Disadvantages of emails. One, there is lack of personal trust. There is lack of personal trust. There is lack of personal trust. Number two, it can result to information overload. It can result to information overload. When high volumes come in. High volumes come in. Number three, it can be disruptive to work schedules. It can be disruptive to work schedules. Disruptive to work schedules, especially if the messages are many. Especially if the messages are many. Another one is that the messages may contain viruses. The messages may contain viruses. Viruses, which are a threat to the devices. Which are a threat to the devices. Next is miscommunication. Miscommunication can occur easily. Can occur easily. Since it is not possible to account for. Since it is not possible to account for non-verbal or tonal cues. Non-verbal or tonal cues. Another one is it may not serve real-time conversations. It may not serve real-time conversations. Real-time conversations. Another one is that there is lack of accountability. There is lack of accountability. There is lack of accountability. So what we are saying is when you use image as a medium of communication, you find, number one, we may not have personal trust. We may not really trust this information. And number two, there can be overload. I don't know whether you have a witness this. So many images, so many, like at times I open mine, you find so many. Kama umetumia Uber, kama umetumia Bolt, kama subscribe to anything, so many of them. Unafungua your inbox, unapata they are like 50 unread messages. They can even overcrowd a very important what? Message. And nowadays we see these things in WhatsApp groups. You are in a WhatsApp group and people are just pumping materials. Even an important communication will be overcrowded and you may not see it. How are we dealing with that in WhatsApp groups? You create? Good, that's what I wanted to come out. You have a group that only the admin can send the message. At least that will ensure that only the message meant for that group is sent. But if you leave it open, people forward anything from anywhere, anytime. These people didn't know what this group is for. So that can be a problem. Then we are saying it can be disruptive, especially where you have a notification. I normally see it when I'm in my office because at times I connect my WhatsApp to my desktop, and my desktop gives a sound when the message has come. So because I'm in very many WhatsApp groups, I think all the groups of the school are here. Not only this semester and many other semesters. So my WhatsApp receives so many messages. So I'm here concentrating nasikia crazy. So si kwanza unachungulia unaona ni nani, tena unarudi. Ukikaka kengine kanakuja. And when you have noted that there is a message that has come in, it becomes very difficult to ignore. I don't know whether you feel the same like me. Okay. That's why most of the times I try to come to class without a phone. Today I'm only using my phone because I had left my book elsewhere. Otherwise, I try personally. I am not able to task. There are people who are able to task. Anafunza tu vizuri na anaangalia simu, anaangalia my messages. Me, I'm not. Me, I'm one person who is focused on one thing at a time. So nikiwa hapa nione simu imepigwa, I may not be able to concentrate. Lazima nichungulie ni nani anapiga na anataka nini. Actually, these lessons, umeona nimetoka I think 2 times. Yes. So to avoid that, what I do, I leave the phone. Ikiwa hapa now, so I'm able to do my work. When I'm in the office and I'm doing something serious, like disruptions, I switch off all of them so that I don't keep on hearing what? The notifications. The other thing is there can be miscommunication. You may not get the real weight, the real meat of the message because you are not getting the non-verbal. You are not getting the tonal cues. You see, like now the way I'm talking in the course of this lesson, there are times my volume is high, there are times it is row. You can see the variations. And that also has a lot of weight to what I am saying. Now, those things that you are seeing, you cannot see them. You see, like now, the way I'm talking using my hand, you cannot see that now in an email. I don't see that in an email. The other thing is, they are not good for real time, especially if the other person is offline or the other person is busy, they are not able to access their email. So utaandika email, ikae. There is a day I used to set exams. And the email was sent. I did not see it. Only for me to be called after the deadline. You did not submit your work. Yeah, you have never sent me the request that I do that on your behalf. I mean, check your emails upon this date. But yeah. The other thing is there is no accountability. People can create fake email accounts and they start sending what? Let's look at qualities of an effective email. Qualities of an effective email. Qualities of an effective email. One, concise. Number two, intention focused. Number three, summarizing. Number four, well organized. Number five, clear on action. Another one is polite and tone appropriate. Another one is good use of subject line. So those are the characters that we require to see in an email. One, it should be concise. You remember the 7 C's that we talked about of communication? One of them was conciseness. And conciseness was about using very few words to say what you wanted. So don't like for us luminous email, everlasting. Nobody call them everlasting. You know, people do not want to read a lot of the information. Actually, when the communication is detailed, they normally put something like this: wrong read alert. At the beginning, you prepare our mind that he document me so that niamue. Lakini si uandike tu na uniambi, yeah, I will just switch off. It must be intention focused. You must be able to know what is the intention of writing this message. Just like what we are saying, it should be clear on action. What is it required to be done? Like now, you people today in your WhatsApp received this notice. Kindly note that your second installment will be due by 6th of February 2023. Please comply to avoid any inconveniences. Now that is very clear, and it's also showing what is required, the action that you are supposed to do what? To ensure that your fee is up to date. It should be summarized and it should be well organized and it should be polite and tone appropriate. Again, don't use a tone that is not right. What you do when you use a tone that is not right, instead of being served, you may be inconvenienced. Make good use of subject line. Ensure that anyone looking at that email will be able to see what is it you have written. Now, something close to that, like how to improve emails. How to improve emails. But it's very close to what you have said here. How to improve emails. One, use emails only when unavoidable. Use emails only when unavoidable. Only when unavoidable. Two, ensure you properly read. Ensure you properly read and understand before replying. Ensure you properly read and understand before replying. Number three, delete unnecessary emails. Delete unnecessary emails. Another one is be clear and to the point. Be clear and to the point. Another one is properly identify yourself. Properly identify yourself. Another one is proofread before you send the text. Proofread before you send the text. So those are some of the things that you need to do when you are using emails. Ensure that you only use emails when it is unavoidable. Don't be a person that everything in emails. Ensure you read before reply. Watu wengine wanaona tu hivyo na wameanza kujibu. Even some people, when you are talking to them, they don't give you time to finish what you are saying. Ukianza kuongea tu kidogo ameruka amaanza kujibu. Na even they don't know. You could have started positive, but you had negative. Or you have started negative, but you had what? Positive. So huyu mtu ameona umeanza negative, they are there now. They don't even wait to see how you will complete. So the same thing happened with emails. The other thing is ensure you delete unnecessary emails. I normally see in my inbox, there are 3 categories of messages. Kuna zile zinaitwa primary, kuna zile zinaitwa promotion, kuna zile zinaitwa social. Now some of them are necessary. So the ones that are zinaitwa spam. So all those that are not necessary, you clear them. The other thing is ensure you are also clear and to the point. Ensure you are able to identify yourself clearly. Hapa chini kwa regards, give your details vizuri, and ensure you also proofread. Don't release a mess, an email. You know, the computers, they give us words. You type. So you are typing dear. You want to teach to type? Yeah, Adam. If you don't check, the computer inakupea dear madman. Na unatumia mkubwa wako dear madman. It will be very difficult. It will be very difficult to convince this person because hiyo ndio kitu anaona ya kwanza. Dear mad, calling me madman. Sasa unapigiwa simu mtu ako na hasira hata uelewi because wewe kwa kichwa yako what registered was very respectful that you wrote dear. Kumbe ilienda dear madman. There's another one I'm trying to remember. Any other one? inaenda second set. Yeah, now you intended how are you? Yes. So these are things that you need to check because they can really mess your day. Na huyu mtu kumconvince huko na mtusi, especially kama huwa mnavitana kidogo. Kwa nguvu sana. For your practice, you can check the following questions. December 2022, question 6A. December 2022, question 6A. November 2020, question 7B. November 2020, question 7B. November 2018, question 6A. Question 6A. Let's now look at visual communication. Visual communication. Visual communication. We write that this is the use of visual elements. This is the use of visual elements. Visual elements to convey ideas. Convey ideas and information. Information which include signs, typography, drawings, graphs, signs, illustrations, animations, etc. Animations, etc. So those are that's what we call visual communication. It is where you're using elements. And these elements could be signs, typography, drawings, graphs, designs, illustration, animations, and so on. So you're using something visual. Inaonekana kwa macho. So there are no written words. There are no spoken words. It is just diagrams, figures, designs, whatever name you give them, and you communicate. Let's look at or down there, right? That visual communication has the following components. Which are required in order to make the message more compelling. The components. One is color. The next one is shape. The next one is tones. Next one is texture. Next one is background. Next one is balance. So we are saying when you are doing visual communication, these components should be incorporated. The issue of color, choice of color, the shape, how you design it, the tone. I'm told colors have tones. There are colors, we call them shouting colors. They are cool colors. So the tones, the texture, how smooth, how smooth it is, background, what is in the background, the balance, how are you balancing everything? In that sheet, the shape, the color, how is the balancing being done, that design. Then down there is another sentence you write that the most common types of visual communication, most common types of visual communication include graphs, tables, charts, diagrams, GIFs. GIFs. Later on, you shall check what we mean by GIFs. You see them in the computer so much. Or you already know. GIF means what? Yeah, that can be a good assignment. You check what it means. Advantages of visual communication. Advantages. One, very effective for illiterate receiver. Very effective for illiterate receiver. Number two, provides a big support to oral communication. Provides a big support. Provides a big support to oral communication. Oral communication. Another one, it is easy to understand. It is easy to understand. Another one, it is simple to present. It is simple to present. Another one is that it prevents wastage of time. It prevents wastage of time. Another one is that it helps in quick decisions. It helps in quick decisions. It helps in quick decisions. So those are some of the advantages, and I think they are very, very clear. Finally, let's note one or two disadvantages. Disadvantages of visual communication. One, it can be costly. Can be costly. You see, like the adverts that we normally say, you don't just say an advert. You have to get a graphic design. Because there is something you can say that you end up destroying instead of adding value. Number two, it can be an incomplete method. It can be an incomplete method. Like a few hours ago, there's something I said to my wife. and she had to call me. You unanitumia, what are you saying? Ndio nikamwambia uoni hii na hii na hii, ndio akaelewa what I'm saying. So if it was not possible now to communicate, to support it with oral, then that message is what? Print. You send someone a photo and they can't understand what you are saying. The other thing is that it can take a lot of time, particularly in the design. It can take a lot of time, particularly in the design. Take a lot of time, particularly in the design. And another one is that it is subject to misinterpretations. It is subject to misinterpretations. So you send a photo na mtu anaona mambo zake completely different from what you are saying. So it is subject to those misinterpretations. So we call it a day at that point and hope to pick up from there in our next lesson. Thank you.